We're talking here about computer software and development of computer programs. And I got into the business back in 1987, just at the advent of personal computers. We actually decided that this was a field that we wanted to get into. It looked like a new emerging opportunity. So we went and bought a couple of Mac computers because we didn't even own a computer in our office, and went and looked for an opportunity.
Awesome. How did you fund that first initial getting into it?
We used our own funds, so it was all everything that we ever did in the company was our own funds originally, and then after it started to cash flow, we just used the cash flow to run the operations. We never had to borrow money.
How do you make decisions in all your businesses?
For us, most decisions are profit driven, but they also are, is this something we really want to do? You'll find when you get into business that every day you're at work is a day that you're either going to enjoy or not. So you're better off being in business doing something that you enjoy, or else every day you're going to get up and say, why am I doing this?
How did you prepare for your business, the next step of the company?
Back in the day, it took about a year to write a computer program. And so for us to plan ahead, we had to plan actually a year ahead. Whatever we were going to do, it took that long. We went from having to plan a year in advance to now being able to plan a month in advance. And that was over the course of 20 years, but that was quite a change. We try to have a 5-year plan that is very broad. We have a 1-year plan that is less broad, and then a quarterly plan that is very specific. And so we go out on a quarterly basis with very specific goals that we try to meet in order to meet our year goal, which fits within our 5-year plan. The one thing about technology companies is going out 5 years is very dangerous because there's going to be changes. Just go back 10 years and imagine where we were technology-wise, and then try to figure out where we're going to be 10 years from now, and you realize the mistake you would make.
When you started, did you see yourself as a computer person?
Yeah.
Initially, I had no technology background at all. I had to learn how to do basic DOS commands, and that was really all I could do. From that point, I had a partner, and he was the same as me, and we hired all of our technology people. And so all we did was manage them. We didn't have the capability to write the software ourselves. The one thing we found was that people that had very technical skills, the programmers themselves, they were very good at what they did, but they were very poor managers. We found that it was better to hire somebody that you had some background on than actually just sort through a list of resumes because everybody looks good on the resume.
What about computers got you interested in?
What interested me about the computers, the business? Primarily, the thing that was interesting to me was that it changed very, very rapidly. And so from 1 year to the next, our business had to evolve, which meant that everything was always new. So it wasn't like being a dentist and going to work every day and you know what you're going to do today and you know what you're going to do a year from today. And our business changed almost quarterly because of the advancement of computers and the advancement of software. I remember the time we bought computers that had 100 megabyte hard drives, and we thought, there'll never be a time that we'll have enough information that we'll ever fill these hard drives.
How did you stay with the game, or even ahead of the game, with all that change? And then
it was just a matter of schooling, just a matter of staying current with the industry, what was happening. And there was so much evolving. And then, of course, when the internet hit, that started a whole new wave. Because we started up, we all had dial-up modems in our offices.
Wow.
And that was.
So what was the first software that you developed and sold?
The first software we developed and sold was a program that we made for Pepsi-Cola. And it was a program that was a database of scholarships and financial aid. And we sold it to Pepsi-Cola, and they used it as a marketing tool to get long-term vending contracts with high schools and colleges.
3 minutes, guys.
Do you guys have any other questions?
I-
All right, I do. Let me know if you guys do have any other questions. So, what made you decide to be an entrepreneur, or to start your own business? You had no experience in that field.
Like I said, my original schooling was to be an accountant, and I worked as an accountant for 5 years. The one thing I found when I was doing other people's books was that they were making a lot of money, and I didn't think they were any smarter than I was. I realized I could either be in the back room doing accounting, or I could be in the front office making all the decisions and making way more money than the guys in the back room. And that was the reason that was what pushed me forward.